All right, howdy, welcome back to the Addicted Motors YouTube channel. I'm excited to say that the Land Cruiser is back at my house. But it's not all good news because I think it's still broken. Let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, so quick backstory. I had brought my Land Cruiser to a shop to get the AC looked at, and while I was there, someone stole both catalytic converters during that time period. And so it sat for a while. I was going back and forth about what to do. So I finally, got things sorted out, brought it to a muffler shop to get the two new cats replaced. And I went to pick it up. And when I went to pick it up, this is what it sounded like. Roll the window down here. This is a truck with brand new catalytic converters. You hear that? I mean, holy shit, man. It's been 2 months, maybe more than that. And it's, yeah. Can you see what's missing? Well, it's kind of hard to tell from this angle, but yeah, the O2 sensor is missing. They just welded it all back up and didn't put the O2 sensor back or order one or anything. And yeah, so I gotta find an O2 sensor, which is it's I can't even be mad about it because it's almost hilarious. The lack of luck that I've had this whole year with this truck is unbelievable. And on top of that, the AC is still not working, even though I just had it done. So that's going to be another story. So what I was planning to do in this video is put it on the Asfir skid plates to show how I was going to protect future potential crime from happening to the Land Cruiser. But I can't yet. So I'm going to have to find an O2 sensor. I'm going to install that. I don't have a check engine light yet. Hopefully that will clear up the exhaust sound, because literally there's an open hole where the bracket needs to go on the downside of that. So yeah, let's kick off the rest of this video. Awesome. Always good updates. All right, so many hours later, I think I have what I need: a new downstream passenger side oxygen sensor, since it was not installed when the cats were replaced. So it kind of looks like this. I'm hoping the wire is going to be long enough. Let's see if I can get a better view of it this time, because this cross beam is blocking my view. Oh, I'm going to slide under a little bit more. And right there, so it looks like they welded the old mounting bracket to the new pipe, so it'll fit. So the hardware and whatnot's there. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to plug this in and snug it up. And hopefully that will quiet her down a little bit again. And maybe get this socket in one day. All right, so this is where it plugs in. I can get it to focus right up here, so that's plugged in. And then I've got the provisionally tightened new O2 sensor in place. Hopefully this will not fray on this heat shield. Usually I think there are little dust shield or rock shields that go on these O2 sensors. At least the older models did, but I don't see them here. So hopefully that won't be an issue, and I'll get it snugged up, and yeah, we'll see if it holds. All right, so here's where I am in the stage of all this. I got the O2 sensor plugged in. I'm gonna start the truck up, see if that is see if that's the whole leak. I just want to make sure there's not an additional exhaust leak somewhere else upstream or downstream that's going to cause additional issues. We're going to fire it up and see what it sounds like. All right, moment of truth. Woo! Thank you, baby Jesus. So that's better. That's much better. I don't feel any large amount of exhaust escaping from my connection. I'll probably snug that up later on just to make sure it's good, but That's fine. I can cut this off now. Oh. So that's step one. Next step, I need to remove the factory fiberglass skid plate. Probably retain the original hardware. I gotta see if the new skid plate comes with hardware, but I'm gonna verify that in a second. Line up the bolt spacing and whatnot, and then go ahead and slap that in there, because I need to bring this back to the shop that completed the AC repair, and I'll show you why. So if you remember the backstory, you can hear the exhaustion in my voice. I brought this truck in originally to have the AC looked at. I lost all my coolant, or my refrigerant, or whatever you want to call it. I had a small crack in the rear feed under the wheel well there, due to a little bit of corrosion that had compromised the hose. And I brought it to the shop. At the shop, someone stole the catalytic converters. It sat there for about a week while I was waiting for its turn in line. After that, I brought it to the muffler shop. The muffler shop let the battery go dead, and they wouldn't touch it without me installing a new battery. So I had to install a new battery, which I then had to pay for because I borrowed it from Mike, and the inventory guy came because it was at the shop so long. And now I have a battery that's not the right size, that is temporary, that I have to pay for now. And then when I picked this up, they didn't install the O2 sensor, so I had to install the O2 sensor, which is fine. So now it doesn't sound like a locomotive anymore. But then I turn on the AC, and the fucking AC wasn't working. And I'm like, I'm not going to be able to figure this out. There's no way I'm going to see what the issue was with my eyes. And then I started, if you ever been around leaking refrigerant, it'll make your eyes burn if it's near you, if it's getting ingested or whatnot. So I'll pop open the hood, and look what I see. Look at that. Whatever, like, again, the guys at the AC shop, I'm friends with. I'm not mad at them. I'm going to bring it back. They're going to fix it free of charge. But whatever they use, whatever holding clasp, whatever, to secure this AC line, obviously let go, whether they're doing or when the muffler shop was messing with the exhaust. So this was all green yesterday. I didn't get that on film because I was tired and embarrassed and didn't really want to deal with it. So this is going to go back Monday. I have to go put my original battery back, which the battery only died because I had the motion sensing dash cam that I installed 3 weeks before I got the catalytic converter stolen, because I was worried about someone stealing my catalytic converters. So this is just a whole thing. This is just a nightmare, and I am living this automotive nightmare, and you guys get to follow along, just so I can make the car make cool air and not sound like a tractor, so I can drive around sometimes getting 11 miles to gallon. So we're gonna soldier on here. I'm gonna pull the old skid pad off, check the bolt spacing, and check the spacing, and slap this new skid plate on, and we're gonna stop complaining. On to the next one. All right, so this is step one. This is the old fiberglass skid plate, which is apparently extremely expensive. When I was pricing this all out to potentially replace it, it was as much as the skid plates basically that I ordered, and that they were basically shipped from Israel, which is, it's held up not terribly over the past 16 years, except for they cut the two ends off, which kind of makes it useless. Makes it useless for recovering and preventing access to the new cat. So I'm gonna go grab the skid plate and see how this is gonna mount up and line up. So according to the packing list, I've got a gear skid plate, which I'm assuming helps hold this on. I have a transfer skid plate, and I have a gear skid plate, LC100. Yeah, so let's see where these match up. Bolt holes wise, so that doesn't look right. I wonder if these match this. Probably should have read something, but I didn't. That one makes sense. Maybe like that, Okay. And then I need to get that piece. It'd go up top. All right, let me take this out, see what it looks like. All right, so I have been forced into reading the instruction manual, and that's what it's showing. So that's really what I have to do. So you're putting it together, which I guess is how this thing is able to be shipped as it is. And it looks like it hangs down slightly. So we're gonna go ahead and put it together. It's not gonna look a whole lot like this, but I at least want to put it together with the hardware, and then I can put this up on jack stands or on ramps and just kind of, you know, start massaging it upwards, and then cover up the transfer case. So we'll see how it looks. And again, my goal to do all this is to get it done so I can bring this back to the shop where the cats were stolen, because they have to fix the AC again. So I'm going back with protection and a couple more upgrades this time. So fingers crossed. All right, so here's where we're at. I got the hardware for the side mounting brackets staged here, and we're just gonna slide under and tighten at least this piece in provisionally. I think this is the only part of this install and we need 2 people. So we're gonna slide under there and try to manhandle into place. All right, I'm sore and that wasn't fun, but I managed, with help from my assistant, get the skid plate in, at least this side. So she's in. I've got the 2 brackets torqued on this side. I've got this installed as well. I need to snug that up. I'm missing a bolt over here because the old stud is snapped off in that hole. So that's not something I can take care of. I'll have to bring that to Mike or someone at Sports Car to drill and tap that out. But you know, it's in there. It's not going anywhere. It could be tighter, and I'll handle that at another date. So let's soldier on here with the rest of it. Oh, one more point. Take your old transfer case skid plate off prior to this part of the installation. I got halfway up and realized I had to do that, so I had to bring it down. So just something to think about. Next, you put on the skid plate bar, bolt, washer, bigger washer, nut or lock nut. I tighten that down, and then on to the last piece. Whew. Well, that is just about it. Like any good successful project that I do, I've got instruction manuals I didn't look at, and I've got lots of leftover pieces. So that makes me feel great. That's you know, that's a success. Let's see how it looks. Oh. So yeah, underbelly skid plate and diff guard installed. Maybe not to factory spec, but it's in there. It'll do. I gotta find something. Actually, the kit was pretty awful. I've got not enough of what I needed and too much of what I didn't need, which is pretty typical, but I'm not complaining. It's in there, it's secure, it looks good. Let's see how well the old felines are protected. Yep. I mean, they're there. It's not the best, but it's better than nothing. I guess you could kind of, I don't know, you'd have to do some major cutting to really get in there. You have to cut the torsion bar and cut the rest of this off. So I don't know. Still think I'm better than I was before. And I think I'm a little more protected. So that's neat. I'm gonna call it complete at this point. Next step, get the AC charged up and have a beer and stop thinking about Land Cruiser. So that's all I got for this installment of the Land Cruiser saga. After I get that AC fixed, probably gonna end up rotating the tires and then driving this thing again, since I really haven't done it in a long time. So yeah, that's the update. Awesome, cool, subscribe, thanks.